The static line program is a program which teaches timing, rhythm, and stability. It takes the student to free fall in a minimum of 5 jumps. For at least the first 5 jumps, the static line student is hooked to the aircraft with a static line. In the typical course, 2 exits are done demonstrating the hard arch position. The next 3 perform a practice ripcord pull. The free fall is performed from 3,200 feet and the static line from 3,000. Progression in this program is by individual performance. One of the more difficult objectives for a student to learn is to relax. Once fully equipped and checked out, you're ready for the jump. When approaching the aircraft, it is your responsibility to avoid all parts of the aircraft. The main and most important component to avoid by a good margin is the propeller, whether spinning or not. The best practice is to approach the aircraft door from the rear and never cross closely in front of any aircraft. When entering the aircraft, you must protect the red ripcord from activation by holding an open hand over it. The last student to exit will be the first to get in. This is done by sitting in the plane rearward and then smoothly sliding straight back. When maneuvering in the aircraft, at all times avoid the fuel selection handle located on the hump next to the pilot. This valve has a protective collar on our jump ships, but caution still must be used. The second student sits back to back with the pilot and begins sitting in the plane, feet to the rear, then slides back over into position. Remember, you are wearing an 8-inch thick pack on your back when moving about the aircraft. The first student to jump will enter the plane after the pilot or last of the students. His position will be back to the co-pilot instrument panel, feet pointed rearward, legs straight. Then the jump master will enter last. Once seated aboard the airplane, the pilot will shut the door and off you go. At this point, your job is to concentrate on the jump and use your jump master for confidence, advice, and exit commands. At a certain point, your jump master will hook up your static line and say, "You're hooked up," and let you tug on it for reassurance. On the jump run, the pilot will head the aircraft into the wind and communicate with the jump master for the jump run and door speed. The door speed means the aircraft is ready for the door to open and for the jump master to look outside. The door opens on hinges at the top. It is aerodynamic in shape, and with flight speed of the aircraft, it will lift itself to the full open position and fly against the bottom of the wing. Before the door opens, you should protect your ripcord by holding an open hand over it. As the door opens, it will become windier, noisier, and possibly cooler. These things must be anticipated and not feared. Getting sucked out is unlikely. Opening the door is the best way to climb out of the aircraft. It's possible, if your lift is the first of the day or a wind change has occurred, your jump master may throw a wind drift indicator. This is a weighted yellow paper that shows wind direction and is used to help determine the exit point. With the door open, the student does not climb out immediately. The student's job is to look into the eyes of the jump master. The jump master has duties to perform outside the aircraft. He will be watching the aircraft travel across the ground and directing the pilot to a suitable exit point using left or right corrections. Do not break your concentration trying to see what the jump master is looking at. He may point something out outside the aircraft, but if he doesn't, keep looking into his eyes awaiting instruction. Eye contact will help communication due to the wind noise once the door opens. When approaching the exit point, the jump master will give the first of 3 commands. The first command is, "Get your feet out and stop." With this command, the student looks, then grabs the strut with the left hand. When doing this, it is best to keep your hand as close to the aircraft as possible to ease wind force. Caution the gas valve, then shift your butt closer to the door. Then look at and place your left foot on the step, then your right foot next to the left. Your right hand should grasp the doorway, halfway down or lower. Shift your butt onto the door sill and look into the eyes of the jump master. This will confirm you are set and ready for the climb out. When swinging the feet out and climbing out, it is best to look at what you're grabbing. Always keep your eyes on the aircraft and not the ground. In this position, look at and maintain eye contact with the jump master. You may receive the second command immediately or up to 30 seconds later. The second command is, get all the way out. At this point, you place your right hand on the wing strut next to left, moving your arm closely across your body to ease wind force. Point both knees into direction of flight and slide the right hand out shoulder width for leverage to pivot and pull yourself to the standing position. Once standing, the taller jumper will have to crouch down to keep from rubbing the backpack on the door. A slight lean over the strut will aid in balance. Slide the left hand out next to your right, then your right hand out shoulder width. Slide your right foot to the end of the step and place the left foot next to the right. When both feet are at the end of the step, slide the hands onto the red hand marks. Then lift and lower the right foot off the step. Get a good grip and slowly and smoothly suspend your weight by your arms as you remove your left foot off the step. Both feet must be off the step as you hang by your arms. Relax your body and keep your knees and legs straight. Do not fight the wind, but let it bend or mold your body. This will allow for the most stable exit. When hanging by just the arms from the strut, look over the left shoulder and regain eye contact with the jump master. To execute these commands, you should not rush, but move steadily and smoothly. Both feet must be off the step, and a relaxed, straight leg position must be assumed. From the time the door opens until you visually confirm an open canopy, your plan is to follow these guidelines and use eye contact when possible. Try not to look at the ground. That's only a distraction. You must concentrate on looking at what you're grabbing and, when set, looking into the eyes of your jump master. Your job is to stick with the training plan. This is the plan, so stick with it. The third and final command has two parts. The jump master saying, look up, then the student saying, dot, and looking at the red dot directly above the head. This should have the student looking straight up, evenly facing the proplast end direction of flight. When you locate the dot visually, immediately say go and release the strut. If anything leaves the aircraft first, it should be your foot. If you leave your foot on the step and push off with your arms, you will roll onto your back immediately after exit. Now, let's go to the ground to review exit rehearsal. Practice exits are first learned without equipment in group format. The objective here is to assume the hard arch X position, arching your back with your head back and chin up. A count of 5 by thousands is said to simulate 5 seconds of holding this X position. On 6,000, you look over your right shoulder to check the parachute. The X body position is the best way to maintain body control on exit. The X hard arch position cannot be overdone. If on an exit you seem to go awkward, by assuming the hard arch position, it will bring you back under control. A count of 5 by thousands gives the canopy time to open. A normal opening will take about 2 to 4 seconds. A count of 5 works well because of the student's tendency to count fast. Now, let's detail the exit body position. When practicing the exit, it's best to simulate as much as possible, starting from hanging on the strut, looking left at the jump master. Simulating the exit, step back and throw the arms into the arch position. Proper arm position is elbows straight, arms halfway between straight up and straight out. Putting the head back and chin up will help the back arch. Arching the back will spill air or wind off your body for the most stable exit. Spreading the legs to match the arms will keep the body symmetrical and catch air equally. Assuming the arch position makes the body aerodynamic. This allows the best position to balance on the air flow. So the practice arch looks like this. The count to 5, and the check on 6. Putting that to work in the air will result in a clean, stable exit. The release and exit position shouldn't be erratic, but smooth and even to obtain the best results. The object of the exit is to catch air in an even symmetrical body position. Balance or stability is created by the X body position in the wind outside the aircraft. After the launch, you should arch your back by putting your chin up and head back. Maintain eye contact with the dot or aircraft. Your arms and legs should be spread in an X position, having your arms slightly above your shoulders. Upon exit, a count of 5,000 by thousands should be started for time awareness to allow your canopy a chance to deploy. Upon reaching 5,000, approximately 5 seconds, look over your right shoulder, maintaining the arch. Continue looking right until you see your canopy to check for proper opening. The count of 5,000, approximately 5 seconds, gives time to check your canopy and make smooth, rational decisions to react to any situation. A burble is a vacuum of air which is created on the back of a moving object. If a burble did exist on your jump, by looking over your right shoulder on 6,000, would change the wind flow over your back and help eliminate the burble. This would aid in a cleaner deployment. Let's return to the first jumper's climb out and briefly review the exit commands. The first command is, get your feet out and stop. The student moves into this position and then regains eye contact with the jump master to confirm ready for the second command, which is, get all the way out. Notice the smooth continuous movement as the jumper moves into the ready position. When set, the jumper regains eye contact with the jump master and awaits the look-up command. After a jumper exits, the jump master will pull the static line in. Then the pilot will bank the aircraft and shut the door.